you know, if you give me this much, I'll handle this for you, right? But how is that not wrong? How are we coming after Trump? You threw all these false claims at him, all these court cases, right? And now he's president. Now you got to eat your words for the people.
Yo, the ethics committee is already in danger.
Yeah.
So she was a part of that the ethics committee. So instead of trying to tell our 47th president, 45th and 47th president what he needs to be doing, maybe you need to get little. You had your run.
Yeah.
You had your run, Liz.
Yeah.
It's a new time. It's our time.
Let me know what you guys think about the video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget that. We out of here, guys.
felt that frustration too.
In the 1990s, the greatest British guitarist was, in my opinion, John Squire. In those decades, those four guitarists, in my opinion, stood head and shoulders above the rest in the British rock and roll guitar scene. And did you know they all have one remarkable thing in common with each other? An absolute mastery of a specific lead guitar solo scale, which I have still to this day never found properly defined or explained in any book, video or article in my entire life. So today I want to share with you something that it's taken me literally decades to learn. I want to share with you what I believe that solo scale shape is and the rules that govern its use. Now I will just be clear from the start, this has only come from my personal studies of these four guitarists. And of course it probably is covered properly in some book somewhere. But whatever that book may have been, as a young guitarist, I couldn't find it. And any books I did read on the subject tended to be totally impenetrable, and I couldn't understand them anyway. But this is my explanation of how the
change your gender and age. Or gender. Let's watch further.
You can't magically change your gender. You can't magically change your sex. You can't magically change your age.
You can still legally change it. People recognize
You can't legally change your age, by the way.
Obviously, you can change your name, you can change your sex, you can change your identity.
Just because you can do things legally doesn't mean that they are correct biologically.
The woke activist claims that you can change your gender and age just like you can change your name. And that's biological reality? Ben quickly shuts this down with common sense, and he argues that subjective feelings and legal documents may change, but the biological facts of sex and gender remain the same.
I'm not going to go along with the general societal willingness to rewrite basic facets of human nature and human biology, and frankly, mammalian biology, in order to suggest that a delusion is true.
Shapiro insists that biological realities are non-negotiable. For him, these truths, such as the distinction between male and female, are critical points where woke ideologies attempt to blur facts. Ben Shapiro also takes on the argument often made by the woke people that you can't determine someone's gender just by looking at them. But wait till you see how Shapiro doesn't hold back with his counter-argument.
So here's my problem with that particular argument. The answer is that in 99.8%, 99.9% of cases, you absolutely can gender somebody based on looking at them. Like really, if you're going to use intersex people as an example of not being able to do that, this does not obviate the biological duality of sex upon which all progeneration is based for all of human history and for all mammalian species.
But apparently, that wasn't enough. The woke student claimed that gender is a spectrum, and he doesn't have the right to determine someone's gender based solely on their appearance. Shapiro's response? Direct, sharp, and absolutely brutal.
I can have every single biological characteristic of a male, and if I say I am female, then I am female. This is anti-scientific nonsense.
Shapiro's take about tackling this issue is not only about gender identity, it's also about tearing apart flawed arguments.
moments of 2024. There are a lot of them. CNN has been on quite the roller coaster this year now that Donald Trump is officially the president of the United States. So, the first clip we are going to be watching is a shocking one. Bernie Sanders all of a sudden showed up on CNN and really spoke his mind.
The working class of this country is angry, and they have a reason to be angry. We are living in an economy today, Donna, where the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. 25% of elderly people are trying to get by on $15,000 a year or less. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth, and parents all over this country worry that their kids may have a lower standard of living than they do. That is the economic reality.
And for context, that was Bernie Sanders calling out the Biden administration, but really Kamala Harris for having no answers as to why the current economic status is terrible and why she didn't win the presidency. Now, this next clip is an absolute fan favorite. You guys love this clip. I'm going to play it for you.
I don't want to be bringing back waterboarding. I don't want to be a country that tortures people, especially if we're the kind of country that's going to be using the military against our own citizens.
Well, wait,
this kind of thing concerns me.
What do you mean use against our own citizens?
I'm talking about
You
sending...
said blue states behave. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about sending the military into blue states to make them behave. Getting Gavin Newsom under control, getting J.P. Pritzker under control.
What are you
making
talking
sure
about? What do you mean, like sitting into the state capitol to commandeer the state government?
I mean, I hope not, but he's definitely talked about that. I don't know why you're acting like you've never heard this before.
Okay, I have to stop here real quick. Just so you know, this whole argument ended up being like 8 minutes long. This next clip is the same argument, but I wanted to show you this is CNN still trying to push the same narrative over and over that Donald Trump was going to use the U.S. military on the American public. This is where Scott Jennings really shines when it's him versus an entire panel who's literally lying to the entire American public.
The military is not supposed to take up arms against American citizens, period.
They're not. You keep saying that. This is about illegal immigration. You all keep saying American citizens.
Well,
it's
how do
about
we
illegal
know whether the people are illegal or not?
Well,
we know after they're shot.
We have 1.6.
We know after they die.
We have 1.6 million people in this country who've already received deportation orders from courts. They are here illegally.
No, it's always back to illegal immigration with people who support Donald Trump. It's always back to illegal immigration. But that's not the only thing that we're talking about here. We're talking about the American people. We're talking about taking up arms against them with a military that's supposed to be protecting them.
This is not right. You cannot say Donald Trump is sending the military to round up.
That's what he said. That's what he said. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so CNN has really gave up on the narrative of trying to convince the American public that the U.S. military will be activated and deployed on the U.S. public. Now, this next clip is interesting because the CNN news anchor was sort of implying that Nancy Mace was being a little racist. But the reason why this clip is actually crazy is because after this clip, the news anchor sent Nancy Mace a flirty text being like, you know, this is just television. I don't really think that about you. I actually kind of like you. And Nancy Mace put all the text messages out to the public, and everybody was really creeped out by it.
Michael.
That sounds like self-hatred and justification of white supremacy. And let me just say this, because this Congresswoman is a wonderful human being, but when you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people.
So now you're calling me racist.
I didn't say. I just said you weren't a
BS.
racist.
That is complete
You don't have to intend racism to accomplish
you are intending that
Your
I am
disrespect
racist,
of Kamala
and
Harris
that is
part and parcel of a
offensive.
tradition of disrespect.
It's offensive,
Congresswoman,
and it's
why can't you just?
offensive.
I'm not calling you a racist. I'm telling you what the practice is racist.
You are. You absolutely are.
No, what's disgusting is your disrespect of her.
Professor,
this gentleman said, I didn't know her name. He's trying to do it.
Is her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is.
So imagine trashing somebody on television and then sending them a kissy face. Shh, don't tell anyone. We look good together. Anyway, this next clip is another fan favorite. You guys love this one.
NBC News reported that the president and his top aides met this summer and decided two things: that they were going to keep this option open, but they were going to publicly maintain that they would not pardon Hunter Biden through statements from Joe Biden and statements from the White House press secretary. They had a meeting. They coordinated the lie, I guess for political purposes. And now that he's leaving office, he is going back on what he told the American people. This isn't simply changing your mind. This is just fulfilling what you always intended to do. No Republican is shocked that he is doing this. What I am shocked at is the duplicity of the President of the United States and his top aides to come together and form this lie and stick to it this entire time. We all knew it was ridiculous, and now the American people are seeing what a disgrace he really is.
Okay, you guys know the context. This is when Joe Biden all of a sudden lied to the American public and decided, you know what, I am going to pardon my son, Hunter Biden. And it's not that anyone is surprised this happened, as Scott Jennings said. It's more surprising how much CNN really wanted to defend Joe Biden's actions. This is the same clip, but I want you guys to know this is the full context.
It's incredibly rich to have you say that the people got together and they were duplicitous and they created a lie.
NBC News said it.
I'm
NBC
saying they
News
created a lie
NBC
because
News said it.
honestly,
NBC News.
what the other side has been saying.
Simply by saying, well, you know, I'm just out looking out for the American
But why
people.
would he have answered?
What do you mean? I don't
Why would he have given such an oddly specific denial numerous times? What could it have possibly been?
Scott, I have no idea.
Politics,
don't
corruption,
Scott.
partisanship,
Sure.
grifting.
But
That's
don't
the
we-
answer.
but
Would it
don't
have
we
been,
think
the Trump administration had an opportunity to investigate it. They could not verify the things that you're alluding to.
They tried to, and he got impeached over it. They impeached Donald Trump over the
Wait a second,
investigation
Scott.
that Hunter Biden has now gotten a pardon for.
You don't think?
Just a quick point of fact.
Okay, this next clip is hilarious because this is when all of mainstream media was trying to compare Donald Trump to the most evil dictators in the world. However, one of Donald Trump's staff came on CNN, called them out, and the CNN news anchor got really upset and then kicked her off the show.
So it takes someone 5 minutes to Google Jake Tapper, Donald Trump, to see that Jake Tapper has
Ma'am, we're gonna
consistently
stop this
frequently
interview if you're gonna
likened
keep
President
attacking my
Trump to
colleagues.
Adolf Hitler.
Ma'am, I'm going to stop
no,
this interview if you
I'm
continue
stating,
to attack my colleagues. I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
Yes.
If you are here to speak on his behalf,
and I
am
will
willing
do
to
that.
have this conversation.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm
as for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to
the
come back out to the
expectation
panel.
for-
Caroline,
the
thank you very much for
expectation
your time. You are welcome to come back at any point. She is welcome to come back and speak about Donald Trump, and Donald Trump will have equal time to Joe Biden when they both join us now at later this week in Atlanta for this debate.
It's always so funny to me when news anchors get flustered or confused when they get called out for literal facts that they've said about Donald Trump. Now, this next clip is, in my opinion, the best meltdown moment of 2024. It's probably your guys' favorite clip. You guys reacted to this video the most. Enjoy, because this is quite a ridiculous argument. It gets pretty crazy and heated.
And that was the opposite.
Yeah, they
of
were,
that.
because
and
Donald
you know,
Trump
and
was a
you,
child.
And you know what else?
Yeah.
And you know what else?
He's a
the fact that they wouldn't give these 13 service members' families the time of
bullshit,
day.
dude.
Time of day. They
I'm
would
sorry.
Not. They
I'm
would
sorry,
not.
but
And it was
Donald
wrong.
Trump hates veterans. He called them suckers and losers. He did. He absolutely, despite
Look,
he has his whole life. He has his entire life.
I know you're super emotional. I just.
Of course I am. I'm terrified.
I'm telling you, the political reality is that when they made that decision.
It doesn't matter.
When
But you
they-
don't admit
when
to
they
me
made
that
that
Donald Trump
decision-
hates veterans. You don't admit it. You deny a man, Chief John Kelly, a Marine. You deny. You say
I know,
he
you're
lied.
Still, you're still campaigning.
You say
It's
he
over,
lied.
mother. You're still
It's not over. It'll never be over.
Just so you are aware, the bald news anchor is upset at Scott Jennings because Scott Jennings is just simply reporting a fact that after Afghanistan, the approval ratings for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden sat around 40%. But the bald news anchor refused to believe that and said, well, Donald Trump hates veterans. He thinks they're suckers. Now, this is the continuation of the argument, and this is where everything starts to fall apart.
Many people think that the pullout of Afghanistan was the pivot point. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I can read a chart and I can read a poll. I guess you can't. But the reality is when he made that decision.
Your petty insults
when he made
are
that
so weak, dude. You have no idea. Like, I don't even understand if you hear yourself talking.
Look,
you can laugh all you want, but like, I can't read a chart. Like, it's just so hacky. It's so uninteresting.
Look, the reason
and
that we
unconvincing.
brought this up is because
Again, I think that is the best meltdown of 2024, and the irony behind all of this is that Scott Jennings did end up winning the Man of the Year, by the way. And I really think, and a lot of you guys agree, Scott Jennings has saved CNN's ratings because a lot of conservatives, to include myself, actually watch CNN because of Scott Jennings. Now, this next clip is another fan favorite. It's when CNN was trying to blame everybody else around them as to why Kamala Harris lost the election.
Let's be honest about this, okay? Let's be absolutely blunt about it. There were appeals to racism in this campaign, and there is racial bias in this country, and there is sexism in this country, and anybody who thinks that that did not in any way impact on the outcome of this race is wrong.
Can you imagine a woman of color acting like Donald Trump acted, even for one day? The kinds of stuff that he said, the kinds of things that he did, the way that he would insult people. If you're a person of color, you don't feel like you have that freedom. You feel like you really are somewhat constrained. You're always running something in the back of your mind like, how am I going to be perceived? And also, if I say this, will they think that all black people are this way or all women are this way? So there's a license that he had to just be a fool, just to be an obnoxious ass.
Now, believe it or not, I'm going to give CNN some credit. After election night, they really toned it down with the whole racial stuff because I think they're realizing the statistics don't lie. A lot of minorities ended up voting for Donald Trump. So this narrative doesn't work and it's completely false. Unlike MSNBC, and I know it's not about them, they still are pushing that narrative, and that is why I think their ratings are collapsing. Anyway, this next clip is going to speak for itself. It's actually one of my personal favorites.
How are you going to deploy the military? Give me how exactly you would deploy an active duty military unit to respond to this crisis.
I would use the military in conjunction with local officials,
What does that look
local
like?
law enforcement, county sheriffs, people who know their communities, because I assume a lot of the local sheriffs and jailers are going to be the people who end up housing some of these folks before they are deported. But there has
What's
to be
the task
some
and purpose? What's the mission for that young private? What is he actually going to be tasked to do? Guard a gate? Or is he going to be investigating?
I don't know. I wasn't elected
But you're sitting here on CNN saying we should do it. I think you should think out a little bit more about what they actually should be required to do.
Do not
Because
belong
it sounds
here.
real good.
One at a time. Scott, quickly. There are millions of people who came into the country illegally, who have already received deportation orders, or who have committed some other crime while they've been here. The fact that you want to leave them in place is mind-boggling.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said.
Let me ask
the
same question I asked Chuck.
Now, this next clip is a very iconic moment for Scott Jennings. I think it really solidified his seat as a very powerful voice for the conservative movement. I'm going to let the clip speak for itself because this is where Scott Jennings really lays it down that this is why Donald Trump won the election. Conservatives, Republicans, Americans, we are tired of what's been happening in this country.
I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids, and they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex. I mean, we've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true. I mean, we were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters, women lying to their husbands. Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow push Harris over the line, and we were just ignoring the fundamentals.
And again, realize, in context, nobody's watching CNN on election night unless you're trying to watch some funny meltdown moments. And then all of a sudden you have this guy, Scott Jennings, who was kind of popular, but not as popular as he is today. Scott Jennings being very reasonable, being very respectful, and actually being a very accurate, powerful voice for the conservative movement. Now, this next clip is another personal favorite, and I know you guys like this clip as well. It's when the CNN news anchors start to turn on one another because they don't know who's actually censoring the show, and then some news anchors are implying that they want more censorship on the internet.
Platforms are not regulated right now, which gives them carte blanche to whatever they want right now. Elon is not someone who likes to be regulated, and so to buy MSN, he would go under some federal regulations.
Who's regulating CNN right now?
The FCC.
We're not a broadcast. It's cable.
I mean, I don't really think cable stations are under the same regulatory structure
doesn't go over public airwaves.
that broadcast is.
It's definitely regulated more than Facebook and
There's
Twitter.
still what she's saying is that there's still a litmus test of journalism that you have to pass. You can't
That you
come
don't
on
have
TV
on
and just make up things and say things. That happens on X. Please don't give me the eyebrow furrow as if you don't know what I'm talking about. It happens often on X. I can go and say the color is blue, and I will be met with so many disrespectful remarks. No one's regulating the N-word. No one's regulating the criticism. No one is regulating how people are treated.
How much
or
government
the
regulation
lies.
of the First Amendment are you for?
Let me tell you something. If I came on here and I just started calling you all kind of names, do you think the bosses would let me continue to do that?
I mean, it happens to me occasionally. I don't know if you watch
it
the
doesn't
show.
happen to you, but it doesn't happen for me. And I know that I wouldn't be able to do that. There's a level of professionalism in what we do here because we are journalists and we adhere to something, at least morally.
I just love that clip because even Scott Jennings knows, look, the producers love when you guys make fun of me. Just make fun of me. He knows it's all about entertainment, but Scott Jennings does not fold and will not break when facts are not right. Now, this next clip is actually a guest appearance from Kevin O'Leary out of Shark Tank. This clip is very funny to me.
Trudeau is at the end of his time. It's a parliamentary system. He's hated by his own people. He's got a few months left. Trump will not be negotiating with him. He's gone. This is like the end of the parliamentary system, like Britain. A few months ago, they whacked their PM. Trudeau he's irrelevant. So now Trump should actually bring down the prime minister in waiting, a guy named Pierre Poilievre. He's much more in sync with Trump. He's going to lift the ban on pipelines, eradicate no more carbon tax, and investing back in Canada. People want to invest there. And he's concerned about the border, concerned about fentanyl. He should go down to Mar-a-Lago now. Trudeau, irrelevant. Doesn't matter.
What does any of this have to do with starting a trade war? Like, why can't you develop relationships
it's not a trade
with
war
our
when
allies?
you get in sync with these two economies. There's no way on earth we're
That's
talking
what
about
he's
water, paper, power, cars, gas, oil, all coming from Canada. Massive trading partnership. No chance in hell there'll be a tariff.
Because, just finish the sentence, no chance because it would be damaging or
Because
no
it's a
chance?
bad
idea.
No, I just want him to finish his
a
idea.
25% tariff would devastate both countries. It's not going to happen. But the guy to be negotiating with is not Trudeau. He's a zero right now.
Okay, if you are still watching, I really appreciate it. Just so you know, I might do a part 2 depending on how this video does. There are still so many clips from 2024 I could play. We can do a whole 1-hour video if I wanted to, but I don't want to waste your guys' time. These are some of your favorite moments, some of my favorite moments. Anyway, I'm really excited for 2025 considering Donald Trump is going to be the next president. I really hope he keeps all of his promises, and I think I see a very bright future ahead. Anyway, God bless. Jesus Christ is really what's going to be most important for 2025. Love all you guys, and we'll see you later.
follow the order. No, we don't like that. What if when Tom Homan says, we're going to get rid of catch and release? What if a bureaucrat says, meh, I don't like that order? What you're talking about is the downfall and the disappearance of a citizen-led government. We have it coming back, though, and we have this opportunity. Donald Trump won. We won. We the people won. But I want you to be on guard, and this is going to take an hour-by-hour fight on this program and on our social media to make sure that what the people want, the people get. Everybody, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell. We're doing so much good work here at Turning Point USA. Also, get your tickets to AmFest. That's amfest.com, the biggest party of the year in Phoenix Convention Center. We have Tucker Carlson and really big speakers coming. I'll be there. It's going to be unbelievable. Meet your future husband, future.
Huge news tonight, super big news coming out of Ottawa. The news that you heard here on this channel about Justin Trudeau announcing his exit, it sounds like it's true. It sounds like it is about to happen, and I'm going to break down all of the new news for this for you right now. I'm going to give you every piece of information that I have from my sources as well as what I'm hearing in the media. But before I do that, guys, I have a huge favor to ask of you. It's really important. There's going to be a lot of fast-moving parts in Canadian politics over the next 48 hours. And not all of it is going to be reported in the mainstream media because we know that the Liberal Party has a censorship agenda in place, Bill C-11, C-18, and Bill C-63. It's led to things like a social media ban on news. Also, we know that social media platforms like the one that you're watching this on right now, they don't always allow certain types of voices to connect with people. So because there's going to be so much happening in Canadian politics and so much that impacts your life, I'm going to ask you to do one thing before I break down what's about to happen, and that's to click on the link that's in the comments if you're watching this on Facebook, or the link that's in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. There's an article there which breaks down. It was a prediction that I made yesterday. Everything in there has come to pass so far. So you know that if you click on this and you click subscribe, I'm going to be able to directly communicate with you over the next 48 hours. And you're not going to have to rely on Justin Trudeau's censorship bans or social media algorithms telling you what you're going to hear. If you click subscribe on that, it allows me to directly communicate with you for free and skip these social media bans. It's really important and it helps me do my job. So let me break down for you, after you do that, what's happening. Okay, so yesterday I came to you with some information about how Justin Trudeau's caucus chair, the Liberal caucus chair, had scheduled a 6-hour meeting on Wednesday. And the link that's in the comments that I'm asking you to read and subscribe, it broke down how that was interpreted as a pretty good signal that he was about to resign. Now, just a few minutes ago, one of Canada's top reporters, investigative reporters, Robert Fife with the Globe and Mail, and Marika Walsh, these are two of Canada's top investigative journalists, even with the mainstream media. They're the ones who always have, they're the ones who break the stories no one else breaks. They just released the following headline, and this is breaking news. It says, Trudeau expected to announce exit as party leader before a national caucus meeting on Wednesday. Now, if you click the link that's in the comments, you'll see that this is exactly what I said was going to happen 2 days ago, and this is what was happening behind the scenes in Ottawa. So now this is being formally reported. But there's a few things that I want to break down for you, because some of you guys are going to hear this and you're going to be overjoyed. You're going to be like, finally, after 9 years of disaster, Justin Trudeau is done. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. Oh, the other thing you can do is share this video so that people who might not know about this, that they can find out about it too, and that they can also get that subscription that's in the comments. But when I first heard about this, I just want to take a moment. I have fought Justin Trudeau for 9 years. I had an emotional moment. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But I obviously wanted to defeat Justin Trudeau in an election. He's such a disaster. So to hear that he's finally announcing his departure, it was, I'm like, finally, oh my gosh. But this article that Bob and Marika put together, it had some pretty bad news, which I also speculated about in the link that's in the comments or the video description. And that's that it sounds like Justin Trudeau, he's not like he's just going to quit and trigger an election, okay? This is what he's trying to do. He's going to announce his resignation. They're also reporting that he's likely going to prorogue or suspend Parliament, and that he wants to stay on as, quote, interim leader while the Liberal Party has a prolonged leadership race. So what does that mean in non-fancy political terms? It means that Justin Trudeau is going to announce that he's going to quit, but he wants to stay on as interim leader while he suspends Parliament to allow Liberal insiders to pick people who are all complicit in his decisions. Like, you know, a point somebody that somebody just made to me before I came live to you was that every person who's going to run for the Liberal leadership, they're Justin Trudeau Liberals. It's like, the analogy we used was like, it's like the Clone Wars, right? It's literally like the clone army. It's like pick a different clone. You're all the same. You're all Justin Trudeau acolytes. So it's not like Justin Trudeau, you need to understand this. It's not like Justin Trudeau, when you hear Justin Trudeau's resigning, that we're going to an election. No, he's likely going to try and stay on as the leader of the party and prorogue Parliament, suspend Parliament, and prevent an election to allow the Liberals to go through a prolonged leadership race so that they can fundraise. So as much as I am excited to hear that Justin Trudeau is announcing his exit, you have to understand that this does not necessarily mean the end of the Justin Trudeau rule of the country. And in fact, it sounds like things might get a lot worse before they get better. Now, what does this mean practically if he prorogues or suspends Parliament? The Conservative Party of Canada, many of you know by tuning into this channel and clicking on the link that's in the comments or in the video description, I broke down for you that the Conservative Party, we found a way to force a non-confidence vote by the end of January. So again, if you click on that link and you scroll back on some of the previous posts, and if you haven't heard about this, we found a way to force a non-confidence vote basically as soon as the House comes back. It's scheduled to come back at the end of January. If Justin Trudeau prorogues Parliament, it means that he would shut down parliamentary committees, and we wouldn't have the opportunity to do that. So again, when you hear tomorrow, if Justin Trudeau actually, like, look, Bob Fife and Marika Walsh, they wouldn't have reported this if it wasn't true. It's very likely that Justin Trudeau is going to resign, but it doesn't mean that he's necessarily not going to be the Prime Minister of Canada, and it doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be a confidence vote because he's likely going to suspend Parliament. The reason why I'm asking you guys to subscribe, the link that's in the comments or the video feed, is that I want to be able to tell you what's happening behind the scenes as this very historic moment in Canadian politics unfolds over the next 48 hours.
Is at an all-time high. It's because Canadians are seeing more and more examples of how they twist the truth. But this one takes the cake. I've never seen anything like this. CTV News just got caught creating fake news. They were trying to promote a government talking point, and they took a clip of Pierre Poilievre making a statement about the carbon tax and giving Canadians a carbon tax election, and they spliced it together to do this.
While the continuation of the plan appears safe for now, the events of the last week have raised new questions over the plan's future.
That's why we need to put forward a motion.
The Conservatives announced a non-confidence vote.
That's why it's time to put forward a motion for a carbon tax election. That's why we need to put forward a motion for a carbon
The Conservatives announced a non-confidence.
Pierre never actually said that sentence. This is the lengths that they'll go to try to protect the Liberals and take your attention off of the carbon tax and all the damage it's doing to Canadians. This is what Conservatives are up against. Not just the Liberals and NDP, but their friends in the media, the bought and paid for parliamentary press gallery that will do everything they can to present Liberal policies in a favorable light and make you believe things that aren't even true about the Conservatives. Next time you see a CTV news broadcast painting conservatives in a negative light, ask yourself this one question. Did that even really happen?
But in your lifestyle, habits, and even your mindset. While none of us can predict the future, research shows there are key indicators that give us a pretty accurate idea. The good news? These signs aren't abstract guesses. They're grounded in science. Let's dive into these 9 signs, backed by case studies and research, to help you understand your own health trajectory. By the end, you'll not only recognize the signs, but also know how to act on them for a healthier, longer life. Number 1, your walking speed. Walking speed is more important than it seems. It's not just about how fast you move, but what it says about your health. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh conducted a study involving more than 34,000 older adults. They found a clear link between walking speed and how long people lived. Faster walkers tended to live longer. For example, those who walked at least 2.5 feet per second had higher survival rates over 10 years. Imagine 2 friends, Mary and Susan, both aged 70. Mary walks briskly every morning. She enjoys the fresh air and often goes to the park. Susan, however, prefers sitting at home. Over time, Mary's habit keeps her muscles strong and her heart healthy. Susan's slower pace means she moves less, but affects her overall health. Walking fast shows your body is in good shape, but if you're slow, don't worry, you can change it. Start small, like walking around your house. Gradually, step outside for short strolls. Balance exercises can also help. It's not about speed today, it's about improvement tomorrow. Think of walking as a daily checkup. How fast you walk can reveal how well you're aging. Small steps now can lead to big health benefits later. Number 2, grip strength. Grip strength might seem like a small thing, but it says a lot about your overall health. Think about this. When you shake someone's hand, do they have a firm grip? That's grip strength in action. But it's more than just how tight your hand can squeeze. It's actually a sign of how strong your muscles are. And it can even tell you about your heart health. I remember the first time I tried using a hand dynamometer, I was surprised at how much effort it took to squeeze it hard enough. It made me realize how important grip strength really is. It's not just about lifting weights or doing push-ups. It's about taking care of your muscles every day. A study published in The Lancet showed that grip strength could predict life expectancy better than blood pressure. That was eye-opening. It means your grip could give you a clue about how healthy your muscles are and how well your heart is doing. It's amazing how much we can learn from such a simple test. To improve your grip strength, you don't need to be at the gym all day. Small changes can make a big difference. I started using resistance bands to work on my hands and wrists. It was simple but effective. With just a few minutes each day, you can start building strength in your muscles. Over time, you'll notice a difference, not just in your grip, but in your overall health too. So next time you squeeze a hand dynamometer or shake someone's hand, remember, it's not just about muscle strength. It's a sign of how well your body is doing. Take care of your grip and it'll take care of you. Number 3, your social connections. Social connections are more important than we often realize. We all know that spending time with friends and family feels good, but it actually affects our health in a big way. I've seen it myself. When I'm with friends, I feel energized and happy. But when I'm alone for too long, it's a different story. That sense of isolation can weigh heavy on you. There's a powerful study by Brigham Young University that shows just how dangerous loneliness can be. The researchers found that being socially isolated can increase the risk of early death by up to 50%. That's huge. It made me think about how much we take for granted when we're surrounded by people. For older adults, Having close friends or family can mean the difference between living a long, happy life and struggling with mental and physical health. What can you do to stay connected? It's not as hard as it sounds. Joining a community group or reconnecting with family can make a big difference. Even hobbies like painting, playing games, or joining a sports team can help. I started volunteering a few months ago, and it's been such a rewarding experience. Not only do I get to meet new people, but I also feel like I'm giving back to the community, whether it's spending time with loved ones, making new friends, or helping out. Staying socially active is key to living a longer, healthier life. So if you've been feeling disconnected, take that first step. You never know how much of an impact it could have on your health. Number 4, quality of your sleep. Sleep is much more than just a way to feel rested. It plays a huge role in how long and how well we live. I used to think that as long as I could stay up late and still get a few hours of sleep, I'd be fine. But over time, I started feeling sluggish and unwell. It turns out that's not how sleep works. The National Sleep Foundation has done research showing that people who get 7-8 hours of good quality sleep every night are less likely to develop serious health issues. Sleep is when your body repairs itself, so not getting enough can increase the risk of chronic diseases. On the flip side, too much sleep isn't good either. Both extremes can shorten your life. I've learned that keeping a consistent sleep schedule is key. Going to bed and waking up at the same time each day helps your body set a rhythm. It also makes a difference if you avoid caffeine in the evening. I used to drink coffee late into the night, but now I know how much it can mess with my sleep. Another thing that's helped me is creating a bedtime routine. Reading a book or meditating before bed can calm your mind and make it easier to fall asleep. If you struggle with things like sleep apnea or insomnia, don't ignore it. Talking to a doctor can help you find solutions. The way we sleep has a bigger impact on our health than we often realize. So take care of your sleep, and it'll take care of you, no matter how sick you get. Number 5, your waistline. Your waistline can tell you more about your health than just the number on the scale. I learned this the hard way after focusing too much on my weight and not enough on my waist size. It turns out that waist circumference is a better predictor of health risks like heart disease and diabetes. The Mayo Clinic found that people with larger waistlines are more likely to face these health problems. For men, a waist measurement over 40 inches and for women over 35 inches can increase the risk of serious issues, even early death. This was a wake-up call for me. I realized that how we carry weight around our belly can be more dangerous than how much we weigh overall. So what can you do about it? Focus on eating a balanced diet. You don't need to make huge changes overnight. Start by cutting back on sugary foods and adding more fiber to your meals. I found that swapping out some of my snacks for fruits, vegetables, and whole grains made a big difference. Exercise is also key. It doesn't mean spending hours at the gym, but regular activity like walking, jogging, or even yoga can help reduce your waistline. Small steps add up over time. Taking care of your waistline isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling good and staying healthy for the long run. So, pay attention to your waist measurement and make those small changes. It can make a world of difference for your health. Number 6, your mental health. Your mental health plays a huge role in how long you live. I used to think that stress and feeling down were just part of life, but then I came across a Harvard study that really opened my eyes. The study followed people for 80 years and found that those with a positive outlook lived longer and healthier lives. On the other hand, chronic stress and negative thinking led to higher mortality rates. You can understand why HR people are worried about stress. When I was first diagnosed with HRD, I thought nothing more than some people who are drained or sick. I've personally noticed how stress affects my body, It can make me feel drained, anxious, and even physically ill. But after reading this study, I realized that managing my mental health could make a big difference in my overall well-being. One of the best things I've done is start practicing mindfulness. It's simple but powerful. Whether it's through meditation or just taking a few minutes each day to focus on my breathing, it helps calm my mind and reduce stress. I also began journaling, which has become a way to express my thoughts and let go of worries. Therapy is another tool that can help. Sometimes talking to a professional can give you the support you need to manage stress and depression. It's okay to ask for help when things feel overwhelming. Surrounding myself with positive people has also made a big difference. When I'm around friends and family who uplift me, it's easier to keep a positive outlook. Taking care of your mental health isn't just about feeling better, it's about living longer. So, practice small habits like journaling, meditating, or seeking support. They can reduce stress and help you live a healthier life. Number 7, your flexibility and balance. How flexible and balanced are you? It may seem like a small thing, but being able to balance on one leg or touch your toes can tell you a lot about your health. I remember trying to balance on one leg and feeling a little wobbly. It made me realize how much we take balance and flexibility for granted, especially as we age. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that seniors who could balance on one leg for at least 10 seconds had a much lower risk of dying early. It might seem surprising, but balance is linked to our overall strength and coordination. As we get older, our bodies naturally lose some flexibility, and that's when falls and injuries can become more likely. To improve your balance and flexibility, you don't need anything fancy. Yoga and Tai Chi are great practices that not only boost flexibility, but also help you improve your balance. I started doing simple balance exercises like standing on one leg for a few seconds each day. Over time, I noticed my balance improving. Even if you're just walking or stretching, these activities can make a big difference. It's not about being able to do fancy poses. It's about keeping your body strong and capable. Plus, it's fun and relaxing. If you want to reduce your risk of falls and stay more mobile as you age, try incorporating balance exercises into your routine. It's a simple way to take care of your body and feel better every day. Number 8, your diet. What you put on your plate can determine how many candles you blow out each year. The Mediterranean diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, is consistently linked to longevity. A study published in the BMJ found that adherence to this diet reduced mortality risk by 25%. What you can do, incorporate more olive oil, fish, nuts, and fresh produce into your meals. Avoid processed foods and sugar. Number 9, your purpose in life. Having a sense of purpose can add years to your life. Research from the Blue Zones areas in the world with the longest living people shows that individuals who wake up with a clear purpose live longer and happier lives. In Japan, this concept is known as ikigai. Each of these 9 signs gives you a window into your health after 70. But here's the thing, these signs aren't set in stone. Your actions today can shape these outcomes. Start small but stay consistent. Walk a little faster. Strengthen your social ties. And pay attention to your diet and mental health. Every positive change you make brings you closer to a longer, healthier life. Remember, longevity isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. So which of these signs will you start improving today? The power's in your hands. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to catch all our latest content.
names are Rebecca and Josh Tickell. We're filmmakers, and our specialty is making films about the environment. In 2010, we made a movie called The Big Fix about an oil spill that happened in Louisiana. While filming that movie, I was exposed to a toxic chemical dispersant. My health suffered considerably, and I had skin rashes and other problems. Doctors said that I may even have problems conceiving or bearing children. In spite of the warnings, we decided to try to have kids anyway. Even knowing the risks didn't make it any less devastating when I had a miscarriage.
I love little person that gets you as dad is very lucky. Really?
Now she's looking at you. Oh, she lifted her hand. Oh my God.
That's so...
When we got pregnant with our daughter, the doctor said there was a birth defect, and there was a chance she wouldn't make it.
I love you, Athena.
Miraculously, she was born healthy and happy. But for 2 years, she had chronic sicknesses. And we were in and out of hospitals almost constantly. So we decided to look at all of our options. And nothing was off the table.
Call your doctor if your depression worsens or if you have unusual changes in behavior or thoughts of suicide.
Symptoms of a serious allergic reaction may include itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. Tell your doctor if you get
experience new or worsening cough, chest pain, shortness of breath, diarrhea, severe stomach pain, or tenderness.
The dichotomy between alternative and traditional medicine is a false one.
So first off, what we have to talk about is what exactly is CBD?
There are some natural doctors out there who literally claim they know everything. So they're telling you about vaccinations, they're telling you about everything that you should do. I think you need to be very cautious as a consumer of healthcare. There are medical doctors.
We were going to go into one of the kids' teepees with his parents, and the mother said, "Take those shoes off, they'll make you..." The bed. So when I laid down on the duct tape, I was like, and put a little bit of straw in it, whatever, and they put her in the ground on the earth. Built a fire there and just sat with her for like days. And then next thing we knew, she was up running around. She was okay. It was just awesome. Just totally awesome. There are many things that kind of stuck in my memory as I got older, and
sure you knows how to skis, Olive?
How do I know, Popeye? I never tried. Here goes. Ow!
It's like a week ago. 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 It's like a week ago.
This will help you navigate the fretboard better. It's also going to help you mix the major and minor pentatonic scales together. Take a root note. This will help you navigate the fretboard better. It's also going to help you mix the major and minor pentatonic scales together. Take a root note. Let's take E note. 2 frets down is always minor. 2 frets up is always major. Anywhere in the fretboard. Anywhere on the fretboard. Just take the root note, 17th fret. Two frets back is minor, 2 frets up is major. For more lessons like this, visit Rusty's Guitar. Happy jamming! This will help you navigate the fretboard better. It's also going to help you mix the major and minor pentatonic scales together. Take a root note. Let's take E note. 2 frets down is always minor. 2 frets up is always major. Anywhere in the fretboard. Anywhere on the fretboard. Just take the root note, 17th fret.
participation, it's rain.
Va.
Whether they're reporting news or a scandalous drama, live television can truly bring entertainment to the next level.
Shoot it pretty well. Oh, whoa. Goodness.
But when the anchors themselves become part of the drama, it makes for the best kind of television. And it happens more often than you think, even leading to people getting fired. Let's have a look at some crazy incidents caught live on TV. Number 20. Live broadcast hijacked. In January 2024, Ecuador was in chaos. The state of emergency had been declared due to violent clashes between criminal gangs and the government. But what happened next was even more shocking. During a live news broadcast on TC television, armed intruders stormed the studio. The news anchor, caught off guard, was forced to read a statement from the criminals. It was a tense and terrifying moment, playing out live in front of millions of viewers. The intruders were aggressive, and their demands were clear. They wanted their message broadcast to the entire nation. A woman's voice could be heard off camera, pleading for the assailants not to shoot. The atmosphere was electric with fear. For 20 long minutes, the crew and the nation held their breath as the drama unfolded in real time. Fortunately, the Ecuadorian police and military acted quickly. They surrounded the building and managed to arrest the intruders without any harm coming to the news crew. This brazen attack on the media was an attempt by the criminals to seize control of the narrative, highlighting the vulnerability of journalists when law and order break down. Number 19. Taliban takeover. In 2021, the world watched as the Taliban swiftly regained control of Afghanistan after the withdrawal of American troops. It was a time of fear and uncertainty for many, and one Afghan news anchor found himself in the middle of it all. During a live broadcast, Taliban members stormed the studio. The anchor's face showed fear as he was surrounded by armed men. They instructed him to deliver a message to the people, urging them not to leave the country. The scene was tense. The takeover was not just of the country but of the media, silencing voices and spreading fear. The anchor, knowing the potential consequences of any misstep, complied with their demands. This moment, captured live, was a chilling reminder of the power dynamics at play and the peril journalists face in conflict zones. After the Taliban's return to power, the media landscape in Afghanistan changed drastically. Over 600 media outlets closed, and female news presenters faced new, restrictive guidelines. For the anchor, it was a terrifying experience that emphasized the precariousness of life under Taliban rule. His bravery in that moment left a lasting impression on viewers worldwide, highlighting the courage required to report the truth in the face of such threats. Number 18. Los Angeles earthquake live. In 2014, Los Angeles was jolted awake by a powerful earthquake, and it all happened live on TV. Two news anchors were in the middle of their morning broadcast when the ground began to tremble. The cameras captured the moment of panic as the male anchor's face turned pale, and he shouted, "We're having an earthquake!" Without missing a beat, both anchors dove under their desk, taking cover as the studio lights swayed above them. For the viewers, it was a surreal scene. The usually composed anchors were now part of the story they were supposed to report. The danger was very real. The studio's ceiling was packed with heavy light fixtures, any one of which could have caused serious injury if it fell. This was no ordinary tremor. It was one of the most intense earthquakes to hit Los Angeles in recent memory. Thanks to their quick instincts, the anchors avoided injury. Their swift dive under the desk was proof of their quick thinking and self-preservation. Number 17. Family versus career. Chris Cuomo was a household name at CNN, known for his engaging and sharp interviews. But then came the scandal involving his brother, Andrew Cuomo, the former governor of New York. Accusations of harassment against the governor put Chris in a tight spot. He chose not to cover the story on his show, citing a conflict of interest. At first, this seemed like a reasonable decision, but behind the scenes, Chris was doing more than staying silent. He was actively helping his brother craft a defense against the allegations, using his media contacts to gather information about the accusers. This was a significant breach of journalistic ethics. When CNN discovered his actions, they suspended him indefinitely. By December 2021, the network decided to fire him. Chris defended his actions, saying he was just trying to support his family, but the damage was done. The scandal highlighted the delicate balance between personal loyalty and professional integrity. For Chris Cuomo, crossing that line cost him his job and reputation. It was a dramatic fall from grace for a man who had been at the top of his game, emphasizing the importance of maintaining ethical standards in journalism. Number 16. Hollywood assault caught live. In 2016, a routine report turned into a nightmare for reporter Mary in Hollywood. She was covering the death of iconic singer David Bowie, a story that was supposed to be a tribute to his life and music. As she delivered her report, a man in a gray hoodie appeared behind her. At first, it seemed like he was just another fan wanting to get on camera, but then things took a terrifying turn. The man lunged at Mary, attacking her live on air. The camera quickly swung away as the crew rushed to protect her, but not before viewers caught a brief glimpse of the man fleeing the scene. It was a shocking and chilling moment, unfolding in real time for all to see. Despite the chaos, Mary and her team managed to stay composed, continuing the broadcast after ensuring her safety. The assailant's face was captured on camera, but it remains unclear if he was ever caught. Number 15. Charlie Rose's downfall. Charlie Rose was a giant in the world of journalism. With a career spanning over 4 decades, he was the go-to interviewer for presidents and celebrities alike. But in November 2017, the respected host's career crumbled when multiple allegations of misconduct surfaced during the Me Too movement. An expose by the Washington Post revealed that Rose had used his position to prey on young women, many of whom had worked for him. These women shared stories of a toxic work environment, describing the studio as a hunting ground. His longtime makeup artist, Gina Riggi, recounted how she endured years of misogynistic comments and unwanted advances. She even resorted to using a hand mirror as a shield. The allegations weren't limited to the studio. Reports revealed that Rose targeted women at his homes in Manhattan and the Hamptons, and even at upscale restaurants. He lured them in with false promises of internships and job opportunities. One woman described how he forcefully grabbed her arm during a makeup session. Despite complaints to higher-ups, no action was taken. Within 24 hours of the allegations going public, Charlie Rose's shows were suspended and he was swiftly removed from his position. Although he issued an apology, admitting some wrongdoing, he attempted to downplay the accusations. In a lawsuit that followed, Rose's attorney denied the claims, calling them baseless. Number 14. Live studio panic. In 2017, a powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck Mexico, creating chaos and panic. It happened during a live broadcast at a Mexican news station. The studio began to shake violently, lights flickered, and alarms blared. The anchor, initially trying to keep calm, urged viewers to remain composed, though his own fear was palpable. As the tremors intensified, it became clear this was no ordinary quake. The earthquake caused widespread devastation. It resulted in the tragic loss of over 3,600 lives and left thousands injured. Buildings crumbled, roads split apart, and the city was plunged into chaos. For those in the studio, the danger was immediate and very real. With heavy equipment and lighting fixtures above them, the risk of injury was high. The broadcast captured the raw intensity of the moment, bringing home the reality of the disaster to viewers across the country. As the shaking subsided, the focus shifted to the aftermath. Rescue teams scrambled to reach those trapped under rubble, and the nation united in an effort to help the affected areas. It was a moment that emphasized the power of live television to capture history as it happens, providing an unfiltered look at the challenges faced during such crises. The earthquake was one of the most severe in recent times, leaving a lasting impact on Mexico and its people. Number 13. Ed Henry's scandal. Ed Henry was a prominent figure at Fox News, known for his role as chief White House correspondent. But his career took a nosedive when scandal struck. Reports emerged of an extramarital affair with a cocktail waitress in Las Vegas. This revelation led to a 4-month suspension as Henry took time off to address personal issues. Yet the damage to his reputation was significant. In 2020, more serious allegations surfaced. 2 women came forward accusing Henry of harassment and assault. One of the victims spoke out, expressing fear of his influence and power to ruin her career. These allegations were not just a minor hiccup, they were career-ending. Fox News conducted an internal investigation, leading to Henry's suspension and eventual firing. The network took a firm stance, reflecting the shifting standards in media regarding accountability and the treatment of women. Henry's attempts to revive his career were overshadowed by the gravity of the accusations and their impact on the victims who bravely came forward. For Ed Henry, the revelations marked the end of his once promising career, serving as a cautionary tale about the consequences of misconduct and the need for accountability in the media industry. Number 12. Dutch News hijack. In 2015, a Dutch news channel experienced an unprecedented event during a live broadcast. A 19-year-old man, dressed in a suit and wielding what appeared to be a weapon, stormed into the NOS studio. His demand was baffling. He wanted to speak with someone from CNN. The situation was tense. The intruder allowed most of the staff to leave, but kept a few as hostages, pacing nervously with his weapon. He assured his captives that they would be released once he got his interview, but the crew was understandably skeptical. They played along, pretending to contact CNN while secretly stalling for time. The police arrived swiftly, and the young man surrendered without resistance. It turned out that his weapon was just a replica, but the threat had felt very real. The motive behind his bizarre actions remained a mystery. Tried as an adult, the young man received a prison sentence. Number 11. Bill O'Reilly's dramatic exit from Fox News. Bill O'Reilly was a dominant force on Fox News, hosting The O'Reilly Factor for 16 years. His show was a ratings powerhouse, consistently leading the cable news charts. But in April 2017, his career came to an abrupt halt. The New York Times published a report detailing a series of harassment lawsuits against him. The article revealed that O'Reilly had paid millions in settlements to various women who accused him of inappropriate behavior. The backlash was swift. Advertisers began pulling their support, and the pressure on Fox News mounted. Despite O'Reilly's denials, the evidence was overwhelming. Fox News decided to part ways with him, marking a significant shift in the media landscape. His departure underscored the growing accountability for public figures in the wake of the #MeToo movement. O'Reilly transitioned to hosting a program on a conservative streaming platform, but his exit from Fox was a turning point. For Bill O'Reilly, it was the end of an era, a dramatic fall from grace for a man who had once been at the pinnacle of cable news. Number 10. Wardrobe malfunction. A popular news anchor found herself at the center of a media storm after a wardrobe malfunction during a live broadcast. The incident was unexpected and quickly became a hot topic online. Viewers had tuned in for the evening news, but what they got was a surprising display that sparked a whirlwind of reactions. The anchor's outfit, though stylish and contemporary, was considered too revealing for the network's standards, that the outfit did not align with their guidelines. But many viewers were not happy with this decision. Outrage poured in from fans who felt that the anchor was being unfairly punished for a minor mistake. Supporters quickly rallied around her, launching a petition demanding her reinstatement. The petition gained traction, gathering thousands of signatures and sparking debates about freedom of expression and the role of personal style in journalism. The hashtag #BringBackTheAnchor trended on social media, with fans arguing that her fashion sense brought a fresh energy to the news format. They believed the incident should not overshadow her talent and dedication to delivering the news. Number 9. Whistleblower versus Monsanto. Jane Acker dedicated years to journalism, but her career-defining moment came with her whistleblower case against WTVT, a Fox affiliate. It was 1997 when Acker and her husband, Steve Wilson, produced a report that took a hard look at Monsanto, a biotech giant known for its agricultural products. The couple's investigation focused on Monsanto's use of bovine growth hormone in milk production, which they claimed posed potential health risks. Monsanto didn't take kindly to the report. They pressured Fox News to squash the story, sending letters threatening severe consequences if it aired. The network, feeling the heat, pulled the piece and didn't renew Acker and Wilson's contracts. The couple saw this as wrongful termination and decided to fight back. They took their case to court, highlighting how they were let go for refusing to broadcast false and misleading information. The legal battle was intense and lengthy. In the end, a jury sided with Acker on one of her whistleblowing claims, but the court didn't award any damages. Despite the mixed outcome, the case drew significant attention to Monsanto's practices and the influence of corporate interests over media outlets. It emphasized the challenges journalists face when taking on powerful entities and sparked discussions about the integrity of investigative reporting. Rick Sanchez's fall from grace. Rick Sanchez was a familiar face on CNN, hosting his own show, Rick's List. But in 2010, his career took a drastic turn. During a radio interview, Sanchez made some inflammatory remarks that would cost him dearly. He suggested that the media, including CNN, was controlled by a certain group and singled out comedian Jon Stewart as part of this supposed elite. The comments were seen as offensive and anti-Semitic, causing an immediate uproar. The backlash was swift. By the next day, CNN had terminated Sanchez's contract. His show aired its final episode that same night. It was a rapid fall for Sanchez, who had spent years building his career in the news industry. His comments not only offended many, but also highlighted the perils of speaking without caution in the public sphere. In the aftermath, Sanchez issued an apology, expressing regret for his words. He admitted that he had misspoken and didn't intend to offend anyone. However, the damage was done. His remarks had crossed a line, and there was no going back. The incident served as a cautionary tale about the power of words and the importance of understanding the impact they can have. Number 7. Eric Bolling's misconduct allegations. Eric Bolling was a rising star at Fox News, known for his roles on The Five and Fox News Specialists. His career seemed to be on a steady ascent until 2017, when allegations of misconduct surfaced. The Huffington Post published a report claiming Bolling had sent lewd photos and messages to female colleagues. The accusations were serious and put Bolling's professional future in jeopardy. Fox News responded by suspending Bolling while they conducted an internal investigation. The network took the allegations seriously, reflecting a broader shift towards accountability in the wake of similar scandals across the media industry. Bolling denied the claims, maintaining his innocence and expressing a desire to clear his name. Despite his efforts to defend himself, the situation escalated quickly. Within a month, Fox News announced Bolling's termination. His show was cancelled, marking the end of his tenure with the network. Bolling expressed disappointment over the decision, but stood by his assertion that the allegations were false. The ordeal was a significant blow to his career, overshadowing his accomplishments as a television personality. Number 6. Matt Lauer's sudden NBC dismissal. Matt Lauer was a familiar face on NBC's Today Show, a staple of American morning television for 2 decades. He interviewed presidents, covered Olympic Games, and traveled the world. But in November 2017, his career came to an abrupt end. NBC announced Lauer's firing following allegations of inappropriate sexual behavior in the workplace. The news was a shock to many who had followed his career closely. The decision was swift. NBC took action within 24 hours after receiving a detailed complaint from a colleague. As more allegations surfaced, it became clear that the network's decision was part of a broader effort to address workplace misconduct. The move was part of a cultural shift, as companies across industries began re-evaluating their policies and responses to such allegations. Lauer issued a statement expressing regret and embarrassment over the situation. He acknowledged some of the allegations while denying others, but the damage to his reputation was done. His sudden fall from grace marked a dramatic and controversial end to his long tenure on Today. Number 5. Julie Chinn's on-air stroke. Julie Chinn, an Oklahoma news anchor, was in the middle of her usual morning broadcast when things took a terrifying turn. It started with a simple slip of the tongue, something every anchor experiences now and then. But this was different. Her words became jumbled, and it quickly became clear that something was seriously wrong. Julie struggled to articulate her thoughts, her speech becoming more and more slurred. Then, she lost vision in one eye and knew she couldn't continue. She was having a stroke on live television. Her colleagues in the studio acted fast. Recognizing the emergency, they dialed 911 immediately. Concerned viewers who noticed her distress also called the station, making sure help was on the way. Julie was rushed to the hospital, where she received the care she needed. Thankfully, she recovered, and it was remarkable how she managed to maintain her professionalism even during such a severe medical crisis. Number 4. Jordanian anchor brawl over Syria debate. In 2014, a Jordanian news program turned into an unexpected showdown. The broadcast was supposed to cover a heated debate about the ongoing Syrian conflict. But things got out of hand fast. 2 journalists, known for their strong opinions, let their emotions get the best of them. The conversation heated up when one anchor accused his colleague, Shahar al-Jahari, of supporting the Syrian opposition. Tensions rose, and the argument quickly became physical. The sight was shocking. The anchors began shoving the news desk back and forth as if it were a wrestling ring. Papers flew, and the desk eventually collapsed under the pressure of their altercation. A third anchor tried to intervene, hoping to calm things down, but it was too late. Security had to step in, pulling the brawling journalists apart and removing them from the set. Viewers were left in disbelief, witnessing a broadcast that turned into chaos. Such an outburst on live television is rare, and it left a lasting impression on those who saw it. The incident highlighted the intense emotions surrounding the Syrian conflict and the strain it placed on even seasoned journalists. If security hadn't intervened, the situation could have escalated further, proving the unpredictable nature of live news. Number 3, Killian controversy. The Killian controversy was a media storm that rocked the foundations of CBS News in 2004. Just weeks before the presidential election, CBS aired a 60 Minutes 2 segment with Dan Rather at the helm. The segment featured explosive memos, the so-called Killian documents that suggested President George W. Bush had received preferential treatment to avoid military service during the Vietnam War. The documents claimed that Bush's service in the Texas Air National Guard was less than honorable, and they implied that strings had been pulled to keep him stateside. As soon as the story aired, the documents faced intense scrutiny. Internet forums and blogs buzzed with questions about their authenticity. The memos looked suspiciously modern, and typography experts weighed in, pointing out inconsistencies that suggested they were forgeries. The pressure mounted on CBS to prove the documents were real. As the skepticism grew, so did the media frenzy around the story. Eventually, CBS had to retract the story, and the fallout was dramatic. Producers were fired, and Dan Rather's long and storied career was tainted. Although he stood by the story, insisting that the central claims about Bush's service were true, the damage was done. This controversy didn't just end careers, it became a cautionary tale about the importance of thorough vetting and the dangers of relying on unverified sources. The saga was so gripping that it was later turned into a movie called Truth, highlighting the intense pressure and the rapid unraveling of a major news organization caught in the crossfire of politics and journalism. Number 2, Melissa Coulson's scare. Melissa Coulson was a meteorologist known for her calm demeanor and insightful forecasts. But one morning, things took a dramatic turn during a live broadcast. As she was delivering the weather forecast, Melissa began to feel unwell. She muttered, "This really is the calm before the storm," before suddenly collapsing on air. Her words were prophetic, but not in the way anyone expected. The studio was momentarily stunned. The anchors were shocked, trying to grasp what had just happened. It was clear that something was gravely wrong. Melissa had experienced a sudden medical emergency, and the broadcast quickly cut to a commercial. 9 years earlier, she had discovered a leaky heart valve after falling ill during a past broadcast. Though she later stated this incident was unrelated, it was a frightening reminder of her past health issues. Fortunately, Melissa recovered and reassured viewers that she was okay. Number 1, South African news crew mugged on air. In South Africa, news crews often face challenging and sometimes dangerous situations, but few expected what happened to Vuyo Mvoko and his team. They were preparing for a live broadcast when two men approached them. At first, Vuyo thought they were just trying to disrupt the broadcast, but the situation took a sinister turn as the men demanded their phones and equipment. The incident unfolded live, with Vuyo exclaiming, "We're being mugged! Hey, we're being mugged!" It was a surreal moment, watching a crime happen in real time on television. The robbers, clearly not thinking through their plan, had chosen to commit their crime in front of a live camera, making their identities easy to capture. The footage quickly became invaluable to law enforcement. Police were able to identify and apprehend the muggers shortly after the incident. Despite the arrests, it was a terrifying ordeal for Vuyo and his crew. Thanks for watching another episode. While you are still here, make sure to click the video on your screen for more quality content. Planted their phones, making their identities. Despite the arrests, it ever wondered what really happens in the daily life of North Korea's enigmatic leader, Kim Jong-un? Get ready to uncover the surprising routines and hidden habits of one of the world's most secretive figures. From his unexpected morning rituals to his lavish evening indulgences, we'll take you inside the mysterious world that few outsiders have ever glimpsed. Is there more to Kim Jong-un than meets the eye? Prepare to be intrigued by the untold stories and fascinating details that shed light on the man behind the persona. Unpredictable mornings. Unpredictable mornings are a hallmark of Kim Jong-un's life, a mix of chaos and luxury. Unlike most world leaders, he doesn't have a set wake-up time. Reports suggest he struggles with insomnia, which isn't surprising given the immense paranoia that surrounds him. Sleep doesn't come easy when you're worried about being assassinated or haunted by the decisions you've made, like executing family members or controlling a nation through fear. His inconsistent sleep schedule also depends heavily on how much he drank the night before. And Kim loves to drink, a lot. Breakfast for Kim is not the quick coffee and toast most people have. Instead, it's an over-the-top feast. There's a reason behind his overeating too. In North Korea, being overweight is a symbol of power and wealth, so he's believed to purposely maintain his weight to keep up appearances. He has a particular love for cheese, especially Emmental, which he developed a taste for during his school years in Switzerland. His love for this creamy delight has reportedly led to health problems like gout. Alongside his meals, he indulges in expensive Brazilian coffee, spending upwards of $1 million annually on it. That's not exactly the typical breakfast routine. Exercise, not part of the plan. Kim's weight and health issues suggest he avoids physical activity. His mornings, instead, are consumed with carefully staged appearances. On occasion, he steps out to be greeted by choreographed crowds of adoring citizens, all part of the propaganda machine that reinforces his godlike image. But most mornings start with long sessions deciding the fate of the nation, or rather, approving plans made by his trusted inner circle. For someone with so much power, his control is carefully curated and tightly managed. The mornings are a window into Kim Jong-un's paradoxical life, filled with extravagance yet burdened with fear, lavish but chaotic. It's a world where nothing is ordinary, and even breakfast comes with a side of propaganda. Luxurious beginnings. In the heart of North Korea, Kim Jong-un's life unfolds like a scene from a lavish movie, filled with extreme wealth and power. Born into the ruling family, he stepped into a world designed for luxury from the very beginning. His childhood was spent in the Grand Pyongyang, where he was surrounded by all the comforts money could buy. He had access to the finest toys, fancy cars, and even a private tutor. As he grew up, this life of privilege only expanded, shaping him into the supreme leader he is today. When it comes to his lifestyle, Kim is said to live like a king. His meals are nothing short of extravagant. He reportedly enjoys Kobe beef, fresh lobster, and even delicacies like shark fin soup. Picture this, a lavish banquet table spread with a stunning array of dishes, all prepared by top chefs. These elaborate meals are accompanied by some of the world's most expensive drinks, including rare vintages of wine and high-end cognac. It's estimated that he spends around $30 million a year just on liquor, indulging in top-shelf brands like Crystal Champagne and Hennessy. Traveling is another area where Kim spares no expense. He has a fleet of luxury vehicles, including armored Mercedes-Benz cars and a shiny Rolls-Royce Phantom. When he's not driving around, he can be found cruising on his private yachts. Each of these yachts is equipped with everything from luxurious suites to top-notch entertainment systems, allowing him to escape the pressures of leadership whenever he wants. But it doesn't stop there. Kim has a unique approach to security too. He travels with a mobile toilet, a bizarre but necessary precaution to protect his secrets. This toilet is specially designed to ensure that no one can access his biological data, highlighting just how seriously he takes his personal security. From his lavish lifestyle to his high-stakes political maneuvers, Kim Jong-un embodies a life of luxury that is hard to fathom. It's a world where wealth and power collide, painting a stark contrast to the realities faced by ordinary people in North Korea. While the nation struggles with economic hardship, Kim's extravagant way of living raises eyebrows and questions about the true cost of his rule. This life of opulence is filled with contradictions, revealing a leader who enjoys the finest things while his people bear the weight of hardship and oppression. Gourmet breakfasts. Breakfast at Kim Jong-un's table is no ordinary affair. For him, it's a gourmet event, overflowing with luxury and indulgence. While most people start their day with something simple, Kim's breakfast is packed with the finest foods money can buy. He has an undeniable love for cheese, particularly Emmental, a creamy Swiss variety he fell for during his school days in Switzerland. It's not just a side on his plate, it's a staple, consumed in such quantities that it's rumored to have contributed to his health problems, like gout. Kim doesn't stop at cheese. His table is often laden with Kobe beef, Iranian caviar, Danish pork, and other exotic delicacies that most people wouldn't even dream of trying, let alone having regularly. The decadence doesn't stop there. He reportedly spends over $1 million a year on premium Brazilian coffee, starting each day with a cup of the best. It's hard to imagine this kind of extravagance when many in his country can't even afford basic meals. There's something almost performative about Kim's breakfasts. In North Korean culture, being overweight is seen as a sign of power and wealth. So his feasts aren't just about indulgence, they're also about maintaining his image. By consuming large quantities of rich, calorie-packed foods, Kim reinforces the propaganda that portrays him as a prosperous and successful leader. Despite the rich, this lifestyle takes a toll. Kim's health is a growing concern. His love for rich foods and heavy drinking has led to issues like obesity and high blood pressure. Yet, he doesn't seem to care, or perhaps he simply can't resist. Every bite, every sip seems to reflect his larger-than-life persona, one carefully crafted to show power, control, and an unshakable grip on luxury. While his mornings begin with these lavish spreads, the stark contrast between his lifestyle and the daily struggles of his people is impossible to ignore. While Kim enjoys his gourmet breakfasts, many North Koreans are left to survive on scraps, eating grass or insects just to get by. For Kim, breakfast isn't just a meal. It's a statement of wealth, power, and excess in a world he's shaped to serve his desires. Public persona. In North Korea, Kim Jong-un isn't just a leader. He's portrayed almost like a god. From a young age, children are taught to revere him deeply. The state-controlled media constantly depicts him as someone with supernatural abilities, suggesting he can perform miracles or even read minds. This creates an atmosphere where people believe he knows their every thought, which fosters a mix of awe and fear. This divine image isn't by accident. It's the result of a carefully crafted propaganda campaign that's been built over generations, starting with his grandfather Kim Il-sung and continued by his father Kim Jong-il. The goal is to ensure that everyone sees Kim Jong-un not just as a political figure, but as an almost mythical presence deserving absolute loyalty. Despite this godlike portrayal, Kim Jong-un's regime is known for its strict control. One of the most shocking events was the death of his half-brother, Kim Jong-nam, in 2017. He was killed at an airport in Malaysia in an attack involving a deadly nerve agent. Many believe that the North Korean government was involved, viewing it as a move to eliminate any potential threats to Kim Jong-un's power. The incident highlighted the lengths to which the regime might go to maintain control. To reinforce his image, Kim Jong-un's daily activities are meticulously staged. He's frequently shown visiting factories, farms, and construction sites, giving the impression that he's deeply involved in improving the nation. But these appearances are carefully planned events, designed to showcase him as a hard-working leader dedicated to his people. Security around him is incredibly tight. Before any public appearance, extensive preparations are made to ensure everything goes smoothly. He's surrounded by an elite team of bodyguards who are specially trained. Interestingly, these bodyguards are all shorter than him, which makes him stand out more and reinforces his commanding presence. Kim Jong-un goes to great lengths to maintain this crafted persona. The combination of portraying himself as a divine figure and exercising strict control is central to his leadership style. It's a complex mix of propaganda and power, aimed at securing his absolute authority over North Korea. Understanding this carefully constructed public image is key to grasping the country's internal dynamics and how the regime keeps its grip on the people. Personal interests. Kim Jong-un's personal interests are a window into a world of unmatched luxury and tolerance. One of his biggest passions is film. He doesn't just enjoy movies. He has his own private movie theater that's nothing short of spectacular. This isn't a simple home setup. It's a state-of-the-art cinema equipped with the latest technology reserved exclusively for him and his select guests. He watches everything from Hollywood blockbusters and Disney animations to James Bond thrillers. Surprisingly, he even enjoys South Korean TV dramas, despite them being banned for the rest of the country. But Kim's theater isn't just about entertainment. It doubles as a powerful tool for propaganda. He uses it to showcase his achievements and reinforce his authority. For instance, during North Korea's Navy Day celebrations, he hosted a grand event where he screened a video featuring a nuclear missile test. This wasn't merely a movie night. It was a strategic display meant to impress and assert his power to the nation's elite. His love for luxury extends beyond movies. Kim has an impressive collection of high-end cars and yachts. Among his prized possessions is a fleet of luxury vehicles, including armored Mercedes-Benz cars and a Rolls-Royce Phantom. One standout is his Mercedes-Benz S600 Pullman Guard, valued at around $1 million. This isn't just any car, it's a mobile fortress with steel-reinforced floors and bulletproof windows, designed to keep him safe while showcasing his wealth. When he wants to relax, Kim heads out to sea on his 95-foot yacht named Princess 95.
And songwriters who left us in 2024. Each of them enriched the world with their timeless music, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire. Through their songs, they shared moments of joy, sorrow, and reflection, creating melodies that unite us and resonate across generations. Together, we celebrate their remarkable contributions and the enduring power of music to connect us all. Our journey begins by celebrating the life and legacy of Toby Keith, a true icon of American music. Keith was more than just a country music legend. He was a transformative figure who shaped the genre with unforgettable hits, profound cultural impact, and generous contributions to charity. Let us delve into his remarkable life, exploring his ascent from humble beginnings to the heights of musical and humanitarian achievement. Toby Keith was a towering figure in country music, known for his commanding voice, unabashedly patriotic anthems, and ability to connect with audiences for over 3 decades. Born on July 8, 1961, in Oklahoma City, Keith's journey began modestly, working in oil fields while nurturing his passion for music. His breakthrough came in 1993 with the hit Should Have Been a Cowboy, which catapulted him to stardom and became the most played country song of the decade. Keith's career flourished with chart toppers like Red Solo Cup and Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, earning him accolades and sparking dialogue with their bold messages. Over his illustrious career, he amassed numerous awards, including ACM Male Vocalist of the Year and the American Country Awards Artist of the Decade. Battling stomach cancer, Keith continued to create music until his passing on February 5th, 2024, at the age of 62. His legacy endures in the world of country music and beyond, with heartfelt tributes pouring in from colleagues and fans alike. Toby Keith's enduring contributions remind us of the power of music to inspire, unite, and leave an everlasting impact on those who hear it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the impact of Toby Keith's music on your life? Share your score in the comments below, and let's honor the enduring legacy of a country music icon whose songs and spirit continue to resonate with fans worldwide.